Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
Are you sure about
Okay, we're going to talk about rate word problems.
I give that word problem 2 out of 5.
Okay, you guys remember equal group problems?
I go to the restroom.
Yeah. So remember equal group problems, number of groups
Try to answer
times
script.
number in a group.
Avery tricked me.
No, I didn't. You should know your own backpack.
Equals total, right? So here's an example of an equal group problem. There are 7 students in each class in this hallway. There are 5 classes. How many total students are there?
35.
35. So if there's 7 in each of the 5 classes, 7 times 5 is 35. So number of classes, 5, times number in the class, 7, is 35. Those are equal group problems. Okay? These work the same way with rates. For example, if you said, let's just do an example. So 20 apples. These are really good apples. That's why they cost $10.
One apple costs $10.
20 apples cost $10.
50 cents per
That's
apple.
expensive.
So you could say, yeah, 50 cents per apple, which isn't a bad price, right? But you could convert this into like an equal group thing. So 50 cents per apple, and you buy 3 apples, then that's
So
3
you're
times 50 cents. So it's $1.50, right?
$1.50.
$1.50, okay? So you could convert it like that, or you could just create a rate. There are 2 ways to write this rate. There are 2 rates. You could say 20 apples over $10, or $10 over 20 apples. And either way, you can reduce these fractions, because rates are just fractions. It's not a typical this out of this kind of fraction, but it still looks like a fraction and it's still reducible. Okay? So if I say, how many apples for $8? How many apples can you buy for $8?
That would be 18.
Not
No.
18.
16.
Okay, now look at this. These are also called unit multipliers.
No way.
Because look, in Apple language, $10 is the same thing as 20 apples. So if you're an Apple vendor, 20 apples equals $10, right? That's the same thing over the same thing. That's called a unit multiplier. So if I wanted to do that, I could follow the steps to unit multipliers. Look, $8, first step is I'll put that over 1. And then I have to choose a unit multiplier that will cancel that first label. So which one will cancel the dollars on top? The
Dollars.
first one or the second one?
Second.
No, first.
First one, because see, if the dollars are on the bottom and this dollar is on the top, it'll cancel. So 20 apples over $10. So this cancels. The dollars cancel. And then you're left with, look at this, 8 times 20. What's 8 times 20?
160.
160. And then you have that apples label, but then what do you have on the bottom? 1 times 10 is 10. What's 160 divided by 10?
16.
16 apples. So you could use unit multipliers to figure this out.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yep. Okay, so this is how many apples can you buy for $8?
10.
Well, how much does $8 cost? Well, how much does 8 apples?
800. No. Yeah, 800.
How much for 8
I need it.
apples? How much for 8 apples?
That is $4.
Okay, how'd you get that? Are you still going off the 50-cent rule?
Yeah, but I divided 8 apples by 2.
Yeah, so really that's kind of what it is, ends up being. But let's do this unit multiplier wise. What's the first step to unit multipliers? Henry.
Writing one of them down, the one that you're going to use.
Yep, 8 apples. And then over 1, right? The first step, unit multipliers. Right, the first measurement as a fraction. And then you have to choose a unit multiplier that will cancel the apples. Which one of these cancels the apples? How do you cancel the apples?
It's the 20. It's the second one. The 20.
Yeah, because see how the apples on the bottom will cancel the apples on the top of the first fraction. So $10 over 20 apples. The apples cancel. And you're left with $80 over the number 20. So what's 80 divided by 20? 4. So you get $4. So you can use unit multipliers like that if you wanted to. You don't have to. You could treat it as an equal group problem. Okay? So if there are, for $1, you can get 2 apples. Okay? And then how many can you get for $8? Well, that's an equal group problem.
That's gonna be 16, sir.
8 times 2 is 16. Okay?
You multiplier.
All right. So, if you can, it's so much easier to reduce the rate. Remember, rate is written like a fraction, and you can reduce a fraction. So, let's reduce this and then solve the problem. Look at example 1. 20 apples cost $5. What's an easier way to say that?
25 cents per apple.
Okay, but you could reduce that a little bit easier without decimals. 20 apples.
20 apples over $5.
Okay, how do you reduce that?
You divide
Yeah, what goes into both 20 and 5?
5.
5 does. So 1 and 4. So this is 4 apples for $1. That's easier to work with. Okay? And then the question says, how many apples can I buy for $80? How many apples?
And how many
$80.
dollars? How many dollars in an apple? Or
$1 for 4 apples.
$1 for 4 apples. What's the question?
How many apples can I buy for $40?
$40. I thought it was 80.
Or $80, sorry.
$4 an apple?
Yep. No, 4 apples for $1.
Can I use my calculator? Shoot, I forgot it at home.
4 apples.
If you were to use your calculator, what would you put in the calculator?
Mr. Black, I know.
So you can just tell me the math.
Mr. Black, I know.
80
I'm a
times
smart boy.
Yep, you're right. 320 apples. That's a lot.
That's already said. You got it.
Okay, so $80. So this is kind of like an equal group problem, guys. Guys, so this is like what the group is. The group is the dollar. So how many apples go into $1?
4.
4. So see how it's the number of groups, 80 groups, times the number in group, times 4. 80 times 4 is 320 apples. Okay? You could also use unit multipliers. You could say $80 over 1,
Hey, you want a Pepsi?
and then you'd have to multiply by a unit multiplier times 4 apples over $1. The dollar cancels, and you're left with 320 apples. Okay? Unit multipliers work as well. You don't have to use unit multipliers. You can think about this logically and try to figure out the math, do the price. When we talk about proportions in a couple weeks, these problems are gonna be so much easier for you. That's just another tool. So you have more options to solve the same kind of math. Okay? All right, what about this? Chestnuts cost 40 cents for 2 ounces. Is there an easier way to say that?
2 ounces per the amount of money.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. They cost 40 cents for 2 ounces. What's the easier way to say that, Xavier? 40 cents for 2 ounces.
2 ounces for 40 cents.
Yeah, but that can reduce, right? 40 cents, 2 ounces. So how does that reduce?
It's 20 cents.
20 cents per ounce. Yeah, for 1 ounce, right? 20 cents per ounce, right?
That
Okay,
means 10 ounces is going to be at 200 cents.
that's right. So here's my question. Okay, how many chestnuts, how much can you buy for $1.20? How much can you buy for $1.20? Can anyone do that in their head?
Probably
wait,
like a
yeah.
pack of gum.
6 ounces.
6 ounces, yeah.
Okay, let's see if you're right. Well, in cents language, what's $1.20?
120 cents.
120 cents. So I'm going to say 120 cents over 1 times. Okay, now will this unit multiplier work?
No.
No, we have to flip it over. So 1 ounce over 20 cents. The senses cancel, and you're left with 120 over 20. Well, that's just 6 ounces. Or in other words, equal group problem. This is the total. 120 cents is the total. And they gave us how many were in the group. So 20 cents in the group. So if it's 120 cents divided by 20 cents, you get 6 groups or 6 ounces. So the group is the ounces.
Mr.
Okay,
Flack,
yes.
may I offer you an afternoon spread? It's free charge.
It's COVID.
It's not
No, thank you.
$1.20.
It's not COVID
They
safe.
feel great though.
I appreciate your generosity.
Thank you.
So, but I'm going to decline your offer. I want you to save that for someone more special.
Okay.
Okay, any questions with rate word problems? You guys feel good about
Can
this?
you do a free problem set one?
No.
Good. 'Cause I don't know.
Flack!